Welcome back, Media Talkers. Today's episode, I will talk to you guys about things a little bit differently than I normally would. Normally, I give you all movie reviews, talk about what I like about it, what I don't like about it. However, today, I will be talking about a Netflix show that originated from YouTube, as well as reviewing a manga and more. So that being said, Media Talker, I'm your host Seth, and don't forget to leave a like, subscribe if you're new in here, or if you like this video. So this TV show, as of March 20th, released their 8th episode of the show. Now, this show is called The Amazing Digital Circus. Now, those of you who heard it, well, you'll know a bit what I'm talking about. Those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, it's an 8-episode series. We're currently in an 8th episode series. That's going to be the 9th one, the final one that will be released in June. But right now, it's the 8th episode series on YouTube. But yet again, the first 7 episodes are currently on Netflix. So, you may be asking, why are we talking about this show? Well, this show is a popular indie animated web series by Glitch Production and the creator, Gooseworks. This web series is about a group of 6 people in a simulation that is in the digital world that is a circus. And these 6 people are basically trapped in this digital circus by one person, and those 6 people are none other than Pomni, Jack, Gangle, Ragasa, Kinger, and Zubul. These characters are pretty much basically forced to be playing the games that the ringmaster, also known as Kane, and his little wacky friend Bubbles, are pretty much forcing them to play the games that way they keep themselves sane, because these people are pretty much basically trapped. They don't remember their names, they don't remember anything. All they know is they put themselves in this game, and then now they're stuck here and can't leave. So these 8 episodes are basically them going through wacky little adventures that Kane puts out for them. Now, why specifically am I talking about this show? Because first off, it's an indie show that originated from YouTube that eventually got into Netflix, which to me that's probably a big thing to like, because you started a web series on YouTube that eventually made it to a streaming service for people to watch and enjoy. This show will pretty much basically make you laugh, as well as it'll keep you hooked on to every episode. At least that's how it was for me when I have been watching this, while I was watching the show, and been hooked onto every little detail and story and plot and characters of the show. This show, if you need more convincing, this show also has a lifetime views of 600 million plus viewers from just from 4 episodes that they made, and they currently have 8 out. This show also have a Collisions Award in 1924, as well for crafting character design for the pilot episode, as well as the pilot episode also received an Annie Award nomination for Outstanding Achievement for Characters, Animation, and Television and Media Production. if those don't scream great shows, then that's okay. Every show is not made for everybody. I thought I should bring it up because it's a unique show that shows a production studio on YouTube can make it onto you. Can make it onto the can make it big as other TV shows to Netflix or if any other streaming services show in general. Now, overall, I think the show had and how it's going and that it's a fun little world and that I could see that if they were to make more, they could easily probably expand the world a bit more bigger from the story. So I guess depending on how the last episode goes, if the characters' stories ends there, they could easily either take it a step backwards or they could just expand the world more, have new characters get trapped in this game. Going into a bit more fun things to talk about, which is would you rather question. Now since it's just me, I'll go ahead and pretty much give a bit of an explanation why that I answered what I've answered. These questions will be from the internet, otherwise I'll just make one up as I go. So starting with the first one. Would you rather spend Friendsgiving with the cast of Friends or Slapsgiving with the cast of How I Met Your Mother? So for me, I'd go with the How I Met Your Mother Slapsgiving simply because I've seen both episodes, both shows fully through. Yeah, and in my personal viewing, I've seen How I Met Your Mother's TV show and specials more than I did Friends, especially recently. I haven't watched too much of Friends. Both shows are great. Both casts have great people in them. But yet again, at the same time, I prefer to be watching prefer to be spending time with the characters of How I Met Your Mother. Now, the percentage online, however, went to the Friendsgiving with 81,000 votes. Now the next question is, you can only watch one CW show for the rest of your life, and what would you pick? There's 4 options, which is Riverdale, Arrow, Jane, the Virgin, as well as Supergirl. Now, the only show I haven't personally seen is the Jane the Virgin show, but if I were to have to choose one, I would have to go with the Arrow show, so out of all these, I'd watch this show. But now, the one that had the most votes is the Riverdale show. Now this next question is going to be pretty much for more of the nostalgia mindset rather than so it's going to be more of childhood nostalgia mindset because the question goes, if you can only choose one channel to have to watch forever, which one would it be? And that is between Disney Channel or Nickelodeon. Now for this one, it would be an easy pick for me, but it would need a bit of a more explanation because growing up, and this is going to be a bit biased, yet this is a would you rather question. I think that the Disney Channel has great shows, however, I also grew up watching quite literally all the other Disney stuff, like Disney Junior slash Playhouse, as well as the actual Disney movies and the Disney XD TV show. I watch less of the stuff that are on the actual Disney Channel, and since it specifically is from the Disney Channel, I don't watch that network as much as I did with all the other Disney stuff, as well as I'd mostly be a Nickelodeon kid person. Rather if that's watching shows from like SpongeBob and then further back all the way up to like The Loud House, Henry Danger, Victorious, all those other shows, like iCarly, Sam and Cat. So I choose Nickelodeon over the Disney Channel's shows. However, if I were to want to divide this more, some of you guys might be like, oh, I like Cartoon Network better. So then you could easily put in the same Cartoon Network divide more people up into more groups, and those seem to be like the big three of cable TV for children to watch and enjoy. Now the next would you rather is, would you rather be in the Hunger Games arena or be in the Death Star during the Rebels Alliance attack? For me, knowing the outcome of the Death Star, I wouldn't pretty much want to be on there because it doesn't specify you're going to be a Jedi or the dark side. But yeah, again, the Jedi are mostly in their spacecraft stuff. You specifically will be either in the Hunger Games arena or you're going to be in the Death Star, and you're not going to be able to be one of the characters because that's not what the question one said too. It's more fun to think that you're just putting yourself into the event. Always go. Now, like I was going to getting to my point of which one I choose, I choose the Hunger Games arena because I'd be able to control more of the survival on that rather than being on the Death Star, knowing that it's gonna blow up, that stormtroopers are gonna be there shooting aimlessly, and there might be a misfire, you might get hit. So therefore, I would personally rather take my chances at the arena in the Hunger Game, where it's basically a hunt and be hunted game. Now going on to Bruno Mars' latest album, which released February 27th. The album's called The Romantic. Now before the album, Bruno Mars' other songs in the album are, to me, good, if not great, amazing. Much more I could say about the other songs, however. Going into the album, before listening to the songs, I'm like, alright, the songs are going to be decent, if not great. Now this album has a total of 9 songs, leaving you up to approximately 31 minutes of runtime to listen to. And now for my review of the album overall. It's a great album. For something that's in the romantic genre, which the album literally calls it romantic, I would have to say out of the 9, I like 2 of them, which is On My Soul and Risk It All. Now that's before the album came out, when they were teasing it, they were playing the song I Just Might on like TikTok and every other platform of social media to help promote that, hey, there's this new song that's coming a part of the album that's coming out soon. Listen to it. That would be the third great song, good song, but yet again, however, to me, it was overplayed way too much. So, if you want to say that's a song that I'd like, then that would then be 3 out of the 9 songs. So, I think if hey, I think that if you haven't listened to it yet, definitely give it a listen. Rather if you like it or not. To me, 3 out of 9 songs that I listened to were good, were great, that I could listen to literally any other time. But yeah, again, definitely think you should go give it a try if you haven't yet. Now, going into my final point of the day. Was this being a book? Well, technically a book, but it's an anime, manga. It's an anime that from a manga. Now, for those of you who don't know what mangas are, they're more towards graphic novel. In my sense of understanding of how I read them, they're more, it makes sense to me, is that they're more of a graphic novel than they are books. But yet again, they are books. Now, the manga I'll be talking about today is a rom-com slice of life manga that did also become an anime, a 2-season anime specifically as of right now, which is Don't Toy with Miss Nagatoro. I'll just go over pretty much the first volume of the manga. As this is my first read through this past weekend, I've read through this book. Yet, as I stated in the beginning, this is a new thing I am trying to I'm trying out. So let me know how it is, as for if you liked it or not, what else you would want me to talk about, basically in the manga, anime things I should read and talk about here. Now, starting with the first chapter. The first chapter of the first volume of this manga is great for knowing your character, getting to know your character, them 2 main characters, that being Hayase, who's also known in the manga / anime shows as Senpai, and then you also get introduced to Miss Nagatoro. So simply from the first chapters, it's just pretty much doing there, introducing the character. And this starts out with the main character, who starts out in the library. The main character's got some work he wants to do of his own, and he goes to sit down, tries to pretty much draw / write his plot line for his own little manga series, as there's this group of girls sitting across the table across from him, and he's overhearing them, and they're being a little bit too loud for him, to the point where he's now trying to slowly leave. As he does this, he knocks over pretty much all his papers and all the stuff he's doing, causing the group of girls to stop, turn around, and look at him, and Nagatoro in the group comes up to help pretty much pick up the mess that Ayase made And as she's helping him pick this up, she sees what she's actually looking at on papers, which is the in manga series that Hayase made writing, because that's something he seems like he has a hobby of doing. So, as she sees this, she pretty much then ends up teasing him about it, and pretty much that's the whole first chapter of it. As the volume goes on, Hayase the first, as of the first volume, Hayase's always in the art club room doing pretty much art, and Nagataro's coming in trying to be all friendly at first, trying to find a way to tease Hayase. So, and then proceeding to be done afterwards as they go on to their next day. I would have to say for this manga, for a rom-com slice of life, pretty much this is the kind of like genre of anime I'd read. As for the manga itself, I do think it's a great read to read if you like getting rom-coms and slice of life. However, with the fact of it was an anime before, it was a manga before the anime, and the anime adaptation was from the manga, I would say it'd be better to read the manga first, then get into the anime, so you don't have to go and go and find where the anime is, and if there's a subscription paid app that you have to pay for, then you have to pay for it only to find out you don't like it, so it's probably better to pay for like the first volume of the book, see if you like it. If you do, then go out your way looking for the anime to watch it. If it's just a manga, what just has a manga itself, it's great. Plus, most of the time mangas have additional content that doesn't get made into the animes, so that's also very fun to read for. As of scoring wise, this anime manga would have to be an 8.5 out of 10. For that reason, just I don't know. For that reason, it's pretty much mainly because of the characters and the stories. It's great. However, the main thing that's going to make that be an 8.5 is simply because of the genre that it is. With that being said, this episode has been a great one. And it also has been a bit of a new way to see, like, let's talk about a web series on YouTube to Netflix, as well as talking about manga, which is a book, and I have talked about books before on this channel. So this pretty much, and I also put in fun things to talk about, such as Would You Rathers, which I haven't done in a while. So, with that being said, media talkers, that's all the media I'll talk with you today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, also put a comment in rather if you like what you see here was the YouTubing to Netflix TV show talk, as well as what other mangas you want me to read and review, any other recommendation for just in general what I should talk over about, as well as what your would you rather questions you would want to do. With that being said, Media Talker, until next time, we'll talk with media. Have fun.